Yo, what's up, everybody? It is Tom and Scott from Bad 'Cause Dad. Scott, what's going on, man?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, we are back to talk some more Wayfinder, a game that is entering early access on August 15th. We're both excited to jump in. We have a couple friends who want to jump in, and so this game is a little outside of the norm for me because I'm such a heavy MMO player. So today we kind of want to focus on, it seems like they're kind of calling Wayfinder an MMO, or an MMO light maybe, might be the more accurate term. So we want to really focus in on some of those MMO aspects and see if it's enough to keep, you know, me or us as MMO players around for the long term. Really, these MMO features need to be strong, and kind of the one I want to focus on today, Scott, is player housing. I'll tell you why it's important to me, and then I'll throw it to you, or why these MMO features in Wayfinder are important to me. Is when I play a game, especially like an MMO game, I want to be in the world, like totally immersed. I want to live there, to go there.
I would agree.
Player housing can be a big deal. Is that kind of your take on that, those kind of elements at least?
Yeah, I've said that many times before. It's the little things that make the immersion very, very powerful. So yeah, anything that allows to help pull me into that game, feeling like I'm in the world, no matter how small, can really make a difference.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I've had some good experiences with player housing over the years, and I've also had some bad experience, right? We can go through garrisons, you know, as kind of a miss on the player housing. I've played games like Guild Wars 2, which it's kind of similar to garrisons. It's more of a, you're in your own instance of this little city. It just doesn't feel like yours in a way. And then I've had some amazing experiences, and we'll kind of touch on that in a second, but I just want to give a quick overview of what player housing is. And we've only seen a little bit from Airship, Syndicate, and the guys over at Wayfinder. So it looks like it's going to be your typical, you have an interior of a home. It is going to be instanced. There is going to be free placement where you can place things on the floor, on the walls, you know, kind of decorate, which is pretty standard.
That's what makes player housing in that regard it's just nothing to me at that point. Player housing, to feel like actual player housing, needs to be out in the open world where you can walk right up to it, where it's part of the environment that people will travel to, and actually have some meaning behind it other than just a place to hang up my decorations. But that doesn't mean it's still not cool in a way. Like if you get some trophies or awards and you just need like a little place to hang out before your next adventure, it's kind of fun. But does it immerse you like an open world MMO true player housing? No, not to me.
Well, and they have some limitations, right? Because this is not a traditional MMO. It's not an open world and seamless, so that they do have some constraints they're having to deal with. And you mentioned the decorations, and this is basically the bare minimum, right? Player housing is just an instance place. You probably go get rested XP. You can display your trophies that you've gotten from raids or dungeons or whatever, and you can make it your own, decorate it. So that's kind of the base. Like we're all expecting that, right?
It's like your own personal digital pregame lobby, right? And hey, it's more fun hanging out in your little specialized place than staring at a loading screen or a wall or whatever. It's just a cool little mini game within a downtime before other aspects of the game.
Yeah, and for me, it's hard to bring up player housing in an MMO without referencing Wildstar. I think everybody knew that was coming before I said
I thought
it.
you were going to say Arcage.
Arcage is cool because it's open world, but it was another level with Wildstar, because in Wildstar, you had this basically plot of land that was on rockets in the sky, so they made it instance in that way.
I remember that. Okay.
But you had all these things you could do. They had this system called plugs and sockets, so you could put crafting stations like mining nodes. You could have these daily XP areas. You could have a portal to a specific raid with a buff attached to it straight from your home area. The other cool thing about Wildstar is that everything was totally freeform. You could take a table and flip it in 3D no matter what orientation you wanted it to be, and you could put it anywhere on your plot. So people would make these huge half pipes with tables, and people are, you know, doing their hoverboards and having races, because you could, it was basically like Minecraft, but, you know, in a way where you could just build anything with the resources you had. And so there was just some wild stuff out there. And man, if that's the gold standard, the total freedom to do whatever you want in your house and have things that matter. Now, is Wayfinder going to do that? No, they're not going to go that far. So what are some realistic things then? I have a couple things that I want to throw out there and see what you think. So, and I think this makes total sense for Wayfinder. If Wayfinder is the Warframe for casuals, right? Crafting is going to be a really big deal in this game. Crafting new Wayfinders, crafting new weapons. I don't know if you're going to be able to craft like food buffs or potions or things like that. We're not sure. I think player housing needs to be your crafting hub. I think having crafting stations or something more involved, like if you have a plot of land where you have your stations outside and you can go, you know, I just think that is, or gather resources if they have some sort of resource gathering that you could do. I think with a game where crafting is that important, that could make your home seem really cool. Like, to do the crafting, you tie it to the home, to the housing, and it makes it feel like it's a part of the world to me. I don't know, what's your take on that?
I agree. Any place, I actually have fond memories of, speaking of player housing, shout out SWG, right?
Of course.
That was my first experience with it. So, I mean, that was a high bar to start with. That felt awesome. But anyways, what I was going to say is, like, I remember my particular house when I became a crafter, like, it was neat to just walk up to my house, go in through the door, and just start crafting in my own space with all the machines. So yeah, making it both a digital lobby and also your crafting area is just a way to be in the game when you're not actually doing things like combat and all its features in the game.
Speaking of SWG, they have alluded to neighborhoods. So being able to have all your instance houses, like with your friends, in a section together. Now,
that I like.
That is awesome. If we could have me and then you're down the street, we got Coltrane on the cul-de-sac. You know what I mean? Like, we're just have everyone
cul-de-sac Coltrane.
We just have everything out there. You know what I mean? Like, that would be super cool. And I would hope that you could choose like what type of zone you want your housing to be in, or what the aesthetic of that area might be. And so they mentioned there might be some housing dailies, like things that you can do in your housing area tied to it, or maybe dailies that you go in and you specifically run some content in order to get like a decoration or something related to housing. And so neighborhoods were cool. And expand on the SWG a little bit. So SWG was more than just neighborhoods. What kind of did they do?
It was a cool place for guilds to essentially, the guilds actually felt special.
It's almost like a whole guild city in a way, right?
It was a guild city essentially. Yeah. That's what it was. And some were just much larger, some combined. But it was like, you think of your guild and you're always just part of a friends list, a digital friends list. It was like an actual way to make your guild come alive into the world. So it's like, this is actually who I'm aligned with in the game, but here we all are in this common space that we have all our crafting, our doctors, our combat medics, our vendors, and then here comes players from other guilds who actually visit it now. So it was just neat, man. It felt special. It felt like it was part of the game and truly immersive. I think that's always just been the gold standard of player housing to me.
They actually mentioned the possibility of guild neighborhoods as well. And so I think we're optimistic, or at least I'm optimistically looking towards this to be that one thing, or at least the a start of an MMO feature that really gets me hooked into this game. It makes the world bigger than just running dungeon instances over and over in a procedurally generated dungeon, right? I want something that ties me more to the game, that I feel like I can live in. And so that's what I'm hoping for. We'll see. Can they deliver on that? I don't know. I think in the early access starting on August 15th, I don't think these features are going to be in yet. So I still think there's a road ahead for how they're going to approach housing.
I hope it's just not too big of a feat that they're trying to accomplish, that it detracts from the core part of the game. I hope it's not too much of a focus to take away from the rest.
I'm on the opposite end. I think it's not too much, and I think this needs to be a mandatory feature.
I will battle you to the death, sir.
We may. I think this game is very simple at its core, right? You go in an instance area, you run it, you get your stuff, you craft stuff, you go back in. There's got to be more for me. Now, some people may like that, but
there is.
I think these are
I see what you're saying,
two elements to the game.
what I'm saying, though, is that if the game sucks, the housing does not matter.
I understand.
So
I understand.
I would rather the core stuff be the focus and that be like a good afterthought.
Sir, would rather there be two equal modules.
Come on.
One the game,
it's an
one
early
housing.
Access. We cannot. No.
Does it have to be either or? Hey, I want it all.
You're asking for too much in this day and age.
I'm the consumer. I want it all. If I don't, I'll go elsewhere and find it.
Wanting it all, I want quality. I don't want it all. I just want some quality.
I want all the quality. I want it everywhere.
You can't have that, boomer.
Yeah, you can.
No.
Someone can do it. Someone's gonna do it.
No, not gonna happen.
But anyway, man, that is our hopes for housing. I hope they knock it out of the park. I really do. And do we want other MMO features? Of course, we want deep character progression, right? We want cool armor and skins that we can make our character our own, since we don't have character creation. So I'm really just looking at these other features, and I just feel like housing is a big opportunity for them if they really want to make this an MMO light or in the vein of MMO. So I don't know. Yeah. That's what we're thinking, guys.
It has potential. It's got to take one solid step at a time.
And let's see if they do on August 15th. We'll be in there. But guys, let us know in the comments, is housing a big deal to you in this game? Or are you just in it for the combat, in it for the looter shooter type grind and that kind of thing? I don't know. Let us know. Like I said, I'm on the side of the fence of the MMO player. So it's a very intriguing project to me. One that I'm happily going to jump in and check out. So let us know in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe if you like this type of video, man. We love making them. And we'll see you guys in the next one.